Alright Bonehonks, this video is all about Mortal Kombat 1. This was a gigantic update that we got this week, and I kind of wanted to go over the cameos I thought were affected the most with all these changes that happened. So I'm just going through, this is my personal opinion on things. I'm very, very happy with this update. Everything in it seems good, there's more coming on the way. But yeah, these are the 5 cameos I think got the most out of this update. Let's get into it.
Accept your death.
So number 5 on my list here is Goro, and basically they made it so that he can cancel this move, the Raise the Roof, into pretty much any other move that he wants to do, whether it's Punch Walk or whether it's the Deadweight move, the Unblockable Stomp. He can kind of do whatever he wants out of here. And then he can also do Punch Walk is kind of the big change here, so they increased the recharge rate of the Punch Walk, so he actually has some use for it now. And then he can cancel that into other things if he wants to, depending on where. He needs some crazy stuff. And yeah, the big thing is that this move here, whenever I see somebody do this move, if I'm able to, I'm going to duck it. So being able to just cancel it into his throw is actually really good. So yeah, because I'm just going to be ducking, and then I'm going to get thrown. So Punch Walk already had some invulnerability, I believe, on Wake Up. But it was kind of a really useless move, so now it actually seems like it's going to be one of the main things that people do. Now, I will say the downside to this is because it uses this whole Kameo bar to do this, then there is a bit of he still doesn't come back super fast. So this is why he's kind of at the bottom of my list. He still takes a while until he even starts coming back, and then you're kind of without him for a minute. So you'll get 1 or 2 really good kind of mix-up setup types of things, and then after that, you just kind of gotta wait for a while. I'm just chatting, and he's still coming back. Oh, we got half a Goro. So yeah, so the idea I think is this Punch Walk is just a little bit better, so he's a little bit more than just kind of a raise the roof kind of guy, so you can actually get some stuff out of him by using other things. And that was kind of the problem with Goro, is everyone only really used this move to keep things safe, and he didn't really serve any other purpose. So now he kind of does a little bit more in some of the other moves, and to open people up just a little bit more. Still, the cooldown is kind of not great, but Goro mains Rejoice. Your character got some buffs. Next on the list is Motaro, and this was actually a pretty big one, in my opinion, because the mobility that this gets you is actually crazy. So the main thing that they changed is his warp, because before he would just warp just to the other side of your opponent, and then you're good. But now you can actually have 3 different distances, because you can warp right in front, mid, and then he also has a very far, which is basically full screen. So if you're someone that wants to create some space or something like that, this works really well in the if you're trying to get out of the corner. Let's say you pick a string. Because it's an ambush, you can pull you right out of the string. So while your opponent's blocking your attacks, Motaro's coming in clutch, then you're full screen away from that corner. So I feel like people are going to use this a lot against, say, Johnny Cage or someone that's just going to lock you down on the corner. And the cooldown is actually not too bad, especially when we looked at Goro. When now he's right back ready to go, So it's we get you full screen out of that pressure is actually crazy. Or if you just wanted to kind of go here, and maybe sometimes you can trick your opponent. So, I'm right in front of you, because you can't really tell until you have actually moved where you are. So this is actually a super cracked move. With Quan Chi, I've been using it, but I've only been using the very far one because that's what I want to do. I want to throw things the whole time. So I just use that one. But characters like, say, Scorpion, who have the standing 2, who's a really good whiff punish, you can maybe go mid-distance a little bit and then try and catch someone trying to dash up, because if someone's teleporting far away, then they might just immediately try and dash to try and catch up the distance, or that kind of a thing. So yeah, that's really good. That in and of itself is really good. Also, Motaro's Fatal Blow attack, where he makes the Fatal Blow faster, now has armor, so it'll blow through. It won't get hit out of like it was before. Yeah, some really nice fixes for this character. The only real nerf that it got was that it doesn't interact with a player who is on hit reaction, which is probably for the best, because that was a big problem with other cameos that did the same, you'd hit somebody and it just pull you right out of it and you were safe. So I'm glad that was kind of nerfed. That was a much needed change. But yeah, this cameo is actually probably one of the better ones. The only downside is losing the 50 health, that's especially for lower health characters like Quan Chi and Atara. That kind of sucks with Motaro, but he is like super duper good now. So like I kind of get where they were going with that. I think that's probably justified, especially with these changes. All right, so the next one here is Frost, and this was a big one for her because she was another cameo that was just like never used. So yeah, it's the Frost Wall. It's an ambush attack, so I mean you can kind of do it while you're doing whatever. So let's say you're in a situation like this where like you're in the corner as Johnny Cage and you want to get the corner pressure. If you can find a way to throw her out, there you go. Now you've got your corner pressure while you're still simultaneously in the corner. Not to mention that she'll also kind of give you some corner combos. I'm not really sure why. I just wanted to choose Johnny. There's some... Yeah, I'm sick with this character. Yeah. Boom. Corner combos pretty much anywhere on the screen. And then corner pressure, of course, and as well as it being an ambush. And then on the flip side of that, if you're, say, somebody like Quan Chi, you can do the same kind of idea where you have Frost Wall down, boom, things like this, and then you're just stuck in this little corner here with all these portal madness going on. Probably not the best kind of usage. Rushdown Quan isn't the greatest idea, but there you go, corner pressure, all that kind of stuff for a little bit when you have Frost. So it actually gives her like a little bit of a use. Because, like, before, like, those are highs and it's a summon, so it's maybe not the greatest. This is a pretty decent mid-poke, so I think now with all of her tools, and then, of course, the level launcher, although that's pretty reactable, not gonna lie, because you can kind of see her coming on screen before it happens. So it's not the greatest, but now paired with, like, an actual ambush attack, and then, of course, she's got the orb. I think she's just, overall, a really good cameo now. And the recharge on the Frost Wall isn't actually all that bad. There's a little bit of a time because you have to wait for the wall to kind of disappear first, but after that, her cooldown is actually pretty good. So I think Frost was probably the character that needed changes the most, I would say. That's probably the weakest cameo in the game. Maybe next to Darius, possibly. But yeah, so these are really, really nice changes for her and actually gives her kind of some use. I think we'll see maybe some Kenshi players using her a little bit more. Getting some Sento pressure pretty much anywhere on screen. That's my guess, but we'll see. And speaking of, next one up is Darius. Darius got some super nice changes to be able to bring back his cameo bar. Like, technically that didn't even use half of a cameo bar. That whole thing that he just did there. You know, it's, boom, there it is. Drains it back, so he's able to do other stuff. Like you can hit him down into heel turn, and then the, heel turn gives him a free overhead. Or low now. He has a low attack off of it now, too. You can do something like this, where you knock him down, call him, overhead into projectiles, that kind of a deal. Yeah, just 50-50 in the corner, same idea, because full screen I think is a little bit better, because you can't really see him. Like, he's kind of like half on the screen there, but yeah, so it's a 50-50 that you can't really see. When you're in the corner, you can see him, so it's a little bit easier to react. But you're also reacting to what your opponent does as well. So there's that. He can actually steal a bar of meter from you by using the double Dagon kick. Steals a bar of meter? That's crazy. That's so good. And there's going to be certain characters, I think, that work a little bit better with Darius than others. Sindel is one I can think of because she can do like a super long combo. Restand with the Scream and then end in the Darius to steal a bar of meter from her opponent. I think that's very good. So yeah, this character got so many changes, like probably one of the most changes out of any cameo in the game for this one. So yeah, you can also jump cancel after this one here. So go into a combo. Quan doesn't have the craziest combos, but you get the idea, right? So essentially giving like anyone an airborne launcher. So someone that does maybe more grounded combos, that kind of a thing. I'm limited to the characters I'm playing, but maybe you play a character and give me some ideas. So I think Darius just has so much going for him now that he's not like, there's not really like a why would I play Darius anymore. It's very clear. He steals meter, he gives you launchers, he gives you full screen or corner mix. This is a sick cameo. The only downside I will say that's similar to kind of Goro is that depending on what you're doing, he can have some pretty crazy cooldown. But I mean, for stealing a bar of your opponent's super meter, that's still even better than Goro right there. You can see how fast it's charging up. So yeah, this cameo is just, this whole shakeup with these cameos is actually crazy. But the craziest is the number one on my list anyways. And of course, the #1 cameo on my list is Chameleon. And the fact that she made it this far with the amount of stuff that she had is kind of crazy to me. But the changes that they made were the change that everyone was asking for. So like the katana fan lift, it doesn't pull you out of hit stun anymore, because that was really annoying. You'd hit your opponent and then they just katana fan lift you out of there and you're safe. The glaive doesn't come back, doesn't just randomly kind of come back anymore. It's very, very consistent now. I've done some testing. And then yeah, there's just some more vulnerability to some of her attacks. It was a little bit riskier to do some things that maybe it wasn't before. And I think this is just the perfect balance. Like, they changed Chameleon, but they didn't take away what made her good. So she still got the glaive, she still got all of her moves, and she still has the biggest thing, which is accessibility. So this cameo, the cooldown, as you can see, is just very good. So you pretty much always have her, which is why she was good to begin with. And just changed things that were maybe a little bit too game-breaking. So yeah, the throw, and then she still has, in the Melina disguise, she still has an unreactable overhead, which is still pretty crazy, pretty strong, but again, cycles through, so you have to make sure that you're using Chameleon properly, kind of a thing. So yeah, I think that was just the biggest win, that they were able to correctly balance this cameo, still make it good, still make it worth it, because you are paying for it. So, biggest changes in this patch, in my opinion. And that's it. I've been spending some time going through the cameos and stuff, and this is what I found. I will do another video on the actual characters themselves and what I think is good there. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't, because I make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks, all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks in the next video.
Accept your death.